Hi, this is Irving Steele, your host of Local Issues, and today we're really excited and grateful to have a special guest to come on and talk about some of her amazing artwork, but also some of the impacts that the tariffs have been having on her, as well as AI and all that combined for what she's working on. So welcome to the show. T. Finley, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I'm really curious of, we met at the Groton Environmental Expo, that you were there. I'm curious if maybe you could share a little bit more kind of some of your passion for the environment and kind of giving back to the world and community that way.
So one of the things that is challenging about environmentalism and what I do is that because I work with transparent stickers, a lot of them come with plastic backings. So one of the things that I like to do is to participate in events like the Earth Day Expo to help try to offset some of the impact that my art has.
Mm-hmm. And I think another element of it as well is just when I look at a lot of your art, a lot of it is kind of nature settings, and it kind of helps to, I think, allow people to appreciate nature a little bit more. That's kind of how I feel when I look at it.
I appreciate that.
So tell us, so it's sensational stickers.
Sensational sticker collage. So I take stickers that I find on Temu and I layer them on cardstock until I am satisfied with what I see on the page. Usually I don't plan it out.
We're looking at one of them right here.
Yes, so each flower that you see is one individual sticker. The house, each house is an individual sticker. And I just layer them together. I usually start with the larger background flowers to fill in a lot of space, and then I come in with the more detailed stuff until I feel satisfied with what I see.
That's awesome. And how large are these usually, the ones that you're making?
The ones that I have showing right now are 12 by 12, but I do have bookmarks that I sell locally, as well as some I've been working into branching into other sizes, like 11 by 14, but I don't have many of those.
Cool. And I also saw that obviously you have an Etsy shop, and on the Etsy shop, there's a lot of different things from, I think, purses to shirts to a variety of different products that people can buy with your artwork on it.
Yes, I just got into print on demand. I wasn't familiar with it, but it's made art a whole lot more accessible, I think, for people, because a lot of people want to support local artists and they want to support small artists. And they struggle to be able to do that because art is expensive, whereas print-on-demand products, like I can make my art functional as well as just enjoyable and more than wall art.
Mm-hmm. And if I understand correctly what I saw and what I've researched, you're the only person in the whole world doing this specific kind of art.
To the best of my knowledge, as far as I have been able to find, I've seen people who make sticker collages, but I've not seen anyone who takes transparent stickers or any stickers and tries to create landscapes using exclusively stickers.
How cool is that?
It's surreal. It's really strange.
Yeah, and it just makes me think a little bit of the whole necessity is the mother of invention, that there has to be some kind of story or something behind this, that maybe you've always been creative. How did this start?
So I have always sort of been creative, but like you said, necessity is the mother of invention, and I found myself finding out what chronic pain was. I thought it was anything more than your baseline. I didn't know you weren't supposed to have a baseline. I found that out around the same time as my soon-to-be ex and I started a divorce process, and so I found myself needing money but unable to keep up with the traditional work environment, and so I was trying to think of something to do. And then my 5-year-old at the time wanted a nightstand, and so I didn't want to buy her a nightstand, so I took a space heater box and a canvas and I hot glued the top of the space heater box and the canvas to one another. And then I didn't want it to look like a space heater box, but I couldn't very well paint it. It's going to chip off. And so I stickered it because I had a bunch of stickers. And as I was doing it, I was like, no one does this.
Wow, that's an amazing
No one does
feeling.
this. Yeah. And then I did full page ones for a while that were like LGBTQ theme or feminism theme. And then
So depending on what you're feeling, you can go in more in one direction or another.
Yeah. And then I moved into doing bookmarks, and then I found the transparent stickers, and then I did this.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
It's been like a year.
We're looking at one right now. What do you want to share about this one?
This one actually started off as one of my most hated pieces. It was one of the pieces that I thought might be the first piece I throw away. It started with these brownish yellow sunflowers that are, I'm pretty sure they're completely covered by this point. But it started looking like a fall piece, which I didn't like. And then I started putting other colors in there, which made it better. But the big thing that changed it was when I put that bike with the sunflowers in front of the wall and the door. That was when I started to see something. And I was like, okay, this reminds me of Amsterdam. To be abundantly clear, I've never been to Amsterdam, but it reminded me of this place I've never been to.
Yeah, it looks exactly like Amsterdam with people riding their bikes all around.
It looks exactly like this place I've never been. I'm a great witness for this.
Yeah.
But it made me think of that, and so I was able to follow along that track. I was like, okay, I wonder how far I can go. This one ended up being the first one I did that was a not just a landscape scene, one that had elements of humans living in it besides a cabin or two or five.
That's awesome. And one thing that the analogy that I think of a little bit with it is that it's kind of like improv theater, the way that you describe it, that you start with a little bit of an idea, but then holy cow, all of a sudden it looks like Amsterdam, and you can start doing different art around that.
Yeah, usually, so I have a sticker bin. And I just have a bunch of stickers in this bin, and then I blind draw a sticker, and whatever sticker I blind draw, that's usually what I'm going to be going with. And so if it's a just plain background sticker, I'm like, all right, here we go. And then I keep randomly drawing until I find something or until I see something I like.
All random draws.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty much.
That's incredible. Just adds kind of an element of surprise to everything.
I don't want to give the impression it's all random draws from there. Like it starts, I keep random drawing until I see something that I want to go for.
And then, sometimes you have the direction exactly where you want to go as well.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, how long does a piece like this take? Of course, it varies.
Yeah, so if it's not super detailed, it might take an hour to an hour and a half, whereas if it's more detailed, it could take 3 hours. I say that loosely because I do have ADHD and I am pretty time blind, and I have no idea how much time passes during these things. I zone out and I come back and I have no idea what happened on that page. Pretty sure I was possessed for a period of time.
So what are we looking at here? This is another one of your
This is one
pieces.
of the top favorite pieces that people tend to review. They really like how Poe-esque this is. I found that to be really popular, and that was honestly what I was going for. The black and gold feather is really just had me thinking that this had to be Poe. So.
That's cool. Do these have different names?
Yes, I did. I named that one Dark Academia, and the other one was Riviera, I believe.
Okay, cool. And I'm wondering a little bit how you're able to get your name out there. Of course, you're going to environmental expos like that. You're maybe working with a bookstore. Sounds like you have bookmarks.
Yes.
What else?
So I have bookmarks in No Other Book Like This in Mystic, Connecticut. And then I also have them at the Golden Owl in New London, Connecticut. I have prints available at the Annex in New London, Connecticut. And I also have my Etsy, T. Finley Designs, and then I'm on social media as Sensational Sticker Collage.
So that's a lot for an artist to be managing all these different things.
It sure is. Yeah.
Do you have any team or people supporting you?
No, I do have a lot of people supporting me. I have a lot of help with trying to get myself off the ground, with getting out there. One of my friends has been instrumental in getting me into the Golden Owl and getting me into No Other Book Like This because she knew the people in those places. And then my family has been super instrumental in supporting me as I get through the divorce stuff, as well as getting through the financial upheaval stuff, like my dad in particular. And yeah, I've got a pretty solid support system.
That's great. And one thing that we talk about on the show from time to time is kind of the separation between doing something, but then doing something that you're very passionate about.
Yeah.
And it's just so admirable to see someone like yourself who you kind of discovered this cool new thing, and then you jumped full right into it to create lots of products that you're now selling. You have shops. It's pretty cool to see.
Crazy surreal because I have throughout the course of my marriage, my ex was military, and so there were times where when I was not with job because we were moving a lot, I would try to pick up and do something with art, but it was never anything like this. It would always be like, oh, make a couple Christmas decorations or something like that. And I had an Etsy, which is why the Etsy I work with is T. Finley Designs and not Sensational Sticker Collage. And so I was doing that on and off. And then once I was propelled into the situation where it felt like I didn't have an alternative, it was like, all right, you stick with it. And then
literally stick with it.
Look at that. Yeah, no, stuck with it, and it stuck to me frequently. The sticker backings are everywhere. It's just like a trail.
It's all over the place.
But yeah, it just turned into something that I certainly never would have imagined. Like, this is wild.
What do you think about teaching other people to be able to do this similar craft?
I try to do some of that with TikTok. I think that the biggest thing is once you know how to blend the colors with the stickers, which when they're transparent and you're talking about them not having white backings or black backings or anything like that, and the backing is clear, you can layer them and blend the colors. And I feel like once you know how to do that and you just sort of follow your instinct when you start to see something, and that and ordering your stickers off Temu, I'm not sponsored, but I should be. But ordering off there, they recommend you stickers, and so they'll find things that are along the themes you want, and you'll find yourself inspired and stuff.
Interesting. And you were sharing a little bit too that maybe, I mean, not 100% sure, but potentially AI has been helpful to your business. You want to share a little bit how it's impacted you?
So I had a commenter on TikTok one time tell me that they look like AI generated stickers off Temu, and I was like, they might be, because Temu is where I get my stickers, and honestly I would feel better if they were AI generated, because then I know they're not being stolen from an artist and all that. And so having the ability to have them AI generated expands the options much more quickly, expands the options for my art, which as I know that AI is really invading the art community a lot, and I feel privileged to be able to have AI contribute to mine in a positive way, because I know that's not the case for a lot of artists.
And if I understand correctly, Temu, it's things that are all coming from China, is that right?
I don't completely know how they do it. I know that they subcontract a few different shops, so you have some shops that are in America that go through Temu and stuff like that. So I'm not completely sure with their business workings. I'm barely familiar with my own, frankly.
I was just wondering about some of the tariffs of if products are coming over from China, if that might potentially impact you.
Potentially. I have not, I'm not super familiar with exactly what's supposed to be going into place when, and the stuff I've seen is like cars and stuff. But if they start to have some sort of issue with Temu like they had with TikTok, or just any sort of Chinese imports or whatever, I'm probably going to get hit. The fact is that if something happens with Temu or with Chinese imports, I go out of business, because I have not found stickers with transparent backings that have scenes like this and have, I almost said hallucinations, holographics. Holographics like this anywhere else. And so without Temu, there is no Tirzah. I mean, I will continue to exist, but my art probably won't.
Okay. And we have a couple more of your pieces if we want to maybe bring one up, and if you could share a little bit your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite ones. I really like the sunset with it. I was trying to go with the mountain theme. I did a few on the mountain theme for a while, because a lot of times the packs of stickers will come in like mountain series, and it's got 6 packs of mountain stickers, and so you just do 6 of those for a while. But this is, I think, one of the more recent ones that I did, and I like it. I like the gazebo.
The gazebo is great.
Yeah, I think it really helps to tie it together.
It almost looks like Mount Everest back in the foreground there.
Yeah.
Cool. And then another piece of yours that we have coming up here is one that has a lot of favorite colors, right? It's the blue and the orange one.
Yeah, so a lot of people have given me positive reviews on this one that's titled Taken.
Taken.
And the way I name my pieces is just, I look at them and then whatever the first word that comes to my head is what I name it.
Yeah, this one's beautiful. Waterfalls there and trees.
Yes, and this one is one that a lot of people have said that they really like. So I figured that I would show it to you guys.
Yeah, and one of the really cool things too, I think, with your art is even if you see a picture of it or you see it online or you see it in person, just to think how you went about making it, I think for me, it just fascinates me every time I see it.
Yeah, I get that reaction a lot. I get so many people that are like, what do you mean? Wait, is the whole thing a sticker? Wait, can I peel off? Can I use the stickers? What do you mean it's with stickers? So where's the stickers? And I'm just like, let me just show you here. So I generally, because I generally have my sticker bin on me all the time, I will open my sticker bin and I take out the sticker and I help because it doesn't exist. No one does this. I can't blame them.
Yeah. It's pretty phenomenal. And I think we might have a short video showing one of your pieces, if we could try and pull that up to describe that a little bit here.
We can consider it. Okay, so this piece is another one of my top reviewed pieces. It's called Transparent because the silver was transparent. But I really like the holographics on it, and a lot of people do. And so it's one of the ones I have turned into a few different things on my Etsy because of how many people have been like, oh, I wish this was a notebook, or oh, I wish this was something else. And so I have so many pieces that when I get requests for certain things, I generally try to accommodate them.
Cool. And then this is another beautiful one with some mountains and flowers, a lot of nature in there.
Yes. And that was another one of the mountain series. Is this not the exact same one we just looked at? I'm nearly positive.
And this is the video form
of
it.
Oh, right. Okay. So I'm not crazy. I was like, this is looking real familiar.
Yeah.
So this is that one that we looked at a second ago, but with a little bit closer up. But part of that mountain series that I did.
Awesome. And if people are interested and fascinated by your art, how do they find out more about you? How can they connect? How can they buy it?
They can find me on social media, on Instagram at Sensational Sticker Collage. I'm on Facebook at Sensational Sticker Collage, but not super active on it. I'm on TikTok as Tirzah Finley, which my name is on the screen. But you can find me there, and my Etsy is T Finley Designs, and then I think that's all of the places I'm located.
Awesome.
Pretty sure.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah,
it's been cool to learn more about your art, and hopefully the community can support you to take to the next step.
I would appreciate that. That would be amazing.
Thanks
Thank you
again
for having me.
Of course. Thank you.